All right, so I'm going to go through first using the algorithm if it makes sense, because that's what you all did, so you can see what you did wrong. I will show some other ways on a different video if you are curious about actually learning how to do fractions. 1/5 plus 1/3 equals my lowest common denominator. If I list these out, 5, 10, 15, 20, for 3, it would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 15 is the lowest. So we have 15, 15. I have to multiply 5 times 3, so I have to do the same thing to 1, which gives me 3. I have to multiply the 3 by 5. I have to do the same thing to the 1, which gives me 5. So now all I do is add the numerators. Remember, we cannot add fraction, the numerators and the denominators together. That's not how fractions work. Again, if you don't understand that, I'll have a different video that you can watch. So the answer would be 8/15. All right, number 2. 1/2 plus 5/10. This one you don't need to do anything. You need to know that this is a half and this is a half, and a half plus a half is 1 whole. That's all you needed to do. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about thinking. If your first reaction was to change this to tenths and multiply by 5 and then get 10, 10, I don't know what that is. That's a lack of number sense. So you're struggling with number sense. Okay, so this is just a half plus a half, and that equals a whole. Other acceptable answers would have been 10 tenths. 10 tenths would be another one, if you went through the whole thing. If you simplified this to a half, you could say you could even have 2 halves. That would be something, I guess. But really, again, it's a half plus a half, which is a whole. Next one is 2/9 plus 1/6. So this one, again, we have to list out our multiples: 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 6, 12, 18. Oh, all right, I can stop there. So we have 18ths, so we can convert these to 18ths. Times 2 times 2, 4 18ths, times 3 times 3, 3 18ths, 4 18ths plus 3 18ths is 7 18ths. All right, the fourth one, 6 tenths plus 1/2 equals, this is 1/10 more than the one above there. So I could even use that information. That's what I would do. I know this is going to be 1 1/10 or 11 tenths. I know that if I wanted to change everything, I could say, okay, I need to multiply this by 5 and this by 5 to get 10. So I have 6 tenths plus 5 tenths, which is equal to 11 tenths. Okay, so any of those are acceptable answers. But again, let's think, let's use things. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, slowing down, thinking what can I use, and go from there. All right, so subtraction. I have 5 minus 1/2 equals. I really don't have to do any work here other than thinking if I understand my, if I have number sense. Because 2 halves make up a whole, 5 minus a half is just 4 1/2. That's it. Now you could go through the problem of saying, okay, how do I make 5s and halves? Okay, that would be 10 halves. So then I get to have 10 halves minus 1/2 equals 9 halves. So that would be acceptable. But again, I'm talking about thinking about and proving. You can say 4/2 because you're like, I know if I take a half away from a whole, that gives me a half. So it would just be 4 1/2. You could draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles. Take half away. It gives me 4 1/2. There's a lot of things we can do. A lot of ways we can think about it. Next one, 6. 5/6 minus 1/3. Convert this to sixths. So that's times 2 times 2. 5/6 minus 2/6 equals 3/6 or 1/2. Number 7. 7 tenths minus 1/4. I don't see any obvious connection here, so I'm going to list them out. 10, 20, 30, 40. I always stop at 40. I know that 10 times 4 is 40, right? But we want to find the lowest one, so I always multiple out until I get to the other denominator. like that times the denominator. So let's do 4, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Oh, I see 20. So we can change both of them to 20ths. 10 I have to multiply by 2, so I do that to 7 as well. 14, multiply 4 by 5, do that to the 1 as well. 5, 14 minus 5 equals 9 20ths. 8, 1/2 minus 5/10. Again, if we realize 5/10 is the same thing as a half, 1/2 minus a half is 0. If we want to go through the problem of making this into tenths, I know that's about times 5 times 5, so 5/10 minus 5/10 equals 0. If you put 0/10, I gave it to you. All right, number 9. Oh, here, I'll do a different color for multiplication. 12 times 1/2. The multiplication algorithm is, again, really straightforward. You make a whole number a fraction just by adding a 1 underneath it, and you just do numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So that's all 12 times 2. So you can do, so 12 halves, or 6 would have been another acceptable answer. 10. 2 times 2 over 2 times 6. Again, this is 1. 1 times 6 is 6. Okay? We could go through the algorithm. 2 over 2 times 6 over 1 equals 12 over 2 or 6. But again, this is 1 times 6. 1 times 6 is 6. 11, 2/7 over 4/5. Again, it's numerator times numerator. 8. Denominator times denominator, 35. 8 35ths. 12. 5/11 times 5 halves. 5 times 5 is 25. 11 times 2 is 22. 25 22nds is fine. 1 and 3 22nds would also be acceptable. 1. Okay. And finally, the division. So 4 divided by 1/2 equals, the algorithm for that is we flip this fraction. Again, if you just want to get the answer right, I can show you how to do that, and then we change division to multiplication. So this would, rewritten, it would be 4 times 2 over 1, which is equal to 8. And if you put 8 over 1, that would be fine. 14. 5 divided by 1/4. So again, we change it to a multiplication and flip the fraction, which gives us 20. 15, 1/4 divided by 4. Again, we keep everything the same, change it to multiplication and flip our divisor, and then do multiplying. And finally, 16. Anything divided by itself is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 100 divided by 100 is 1. 6/11 divided by 6/11 is 1. If you want to see the algorithm, 6/11 times 11 over 6, which again is 66 over 66, which is 1. All right, let me know if you have questions.